Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So I'm on Facebook, checking out the forums, and a guy poses a little video with a question. It goes like this: when I press hard on the note, go sharp. Press a little less hard, it goes flatter back to normal. Should the frets be filed down? If so, how do I go about it? Help, please. Well, the first comment was actually the right one. Don't press as hard. Second one, the height of the strings on the nut is too high. Most likely the nut needs to be filed. Oh my god. And this is where it takes off, okay? Guys, make this video go viral. Please, we need to educate people here that are guitarded, among other things that they are. Perhaps also the bridge saddle height and check if proper neck relief. Oh boy. The nut is too high for sure. 3 factors: nut too high, action at the bridge high, and pressing too hard. You should have just, put the last comment first and left it there. You're pressing too hard. If it's been set up by a professional or basic factory setup, don't press hard. That's what happens. Okay, that's kind of almost acceptable to a certain point. The nut height's too high for sure. Again. Oh, here you go. What they said, it can't go flat. The only way is up. What the frig? Hello. If you squeeze too hard, what do? You stretch the string, you pull it back. Now, one of two things can happen. It could possibly go back to normal. Some strings will. Others will actually go, hello, flat. Okay? Boy, people. First thing is to try new strings. What the hell do strings have to do with this? Yes, maybe 10 gauge strings. 10 is thicker than stock 9s. Therefore, it'll raise the height at the nut. They're not going to sit flush in there anymore, people. Hello? Okay, thicker strings is a bad way to go. It's also going to damage the nut slots. Oh, boy, God. Oh, one guy. People pay a lot for a B bender that does that. Okay. We're getting there, people. Holy shit, this is stressful. I'm serious. Share this video with every social media group that exists on the planet that you belong to. And if you don't belong to any, join more and share it. Okay? Post it everywhere. Post it on your Facebook groups. They got to see my video here. Oh boy, there's so many of these. Oh, more of the nut slots too high. Here's a good one. Everyone stop, all in capitals. It's the nut height, nothing else. 75 more comments from now, it'll still be the nut height. Another one with heavier strings. Nut slot being too high. No, it's not too high. You can't lower it anymore or you're going to be buzzing. Oh, boy, boy, boy. Here's a good one. Seems to be a combo of what everyone said. Check nut height, play with light, even pressure, and also try to play as close to the fret as possible. Okay, no. You should have stopped it. Don't press so hard. All right. If what any of these guitarded people are saying is true, that means every single one of my guitars right now is presently screwed up. Let me think about this for a minute. No, nothing wrong. Okay, I'm gonna prove something. I gotta. You guys, anybody who knows me on my YouTube channel knows that I really like to prove other people wrong, especially when I know for a fact that I can. Okay, because I like to set people on the right track in life. Okay, so here we go. We're way away from the nut here. Go here. Wicked, isn't it? Medium jumbos on a brand new Takamine. Medium jumbos on a much older Fender CD100. Son of a bitch. Couple-month-old Fender Stratocaster Squire Affinity, which, by the way, is the same guitar that this guy has in his post, except mine's left-handed. Son of a bitch, eh? I'm doing this for a reason, kiddies. Because I have one guitar that's got some really fat frets on it. And that's coming up next. Just got this at Christmas. Squire Affinity Telecaster. I don't care what freaking brand it is or model, okay? Jeez. That's horrible, isn't it? I know I've made my point already, but I'm going to make some more. Why? Because this one's got fat frets. These are more than twice the size of the frets of all my other guitars in here, okay? So, if you were to listen to any of these people with the wrong comments here, they would make you believe that every single one of my guitars in here is completely screwed. It needs a proper setup. It needs the strings either lowered. I need fatter strings. Something is wrong with all my guitars. This guitar has not been touched. My Takamine. Not yet. Okay? Since I bought it. It's factory setup. I set my string action height and my neck relief and my intonation myself on all my electric guitars. I set my neck relief myself on my acoustic guitars, except for the Takamine. Didn't have to touch it. Okay? Not yet anyways. Right? There's nothing wrong with your guitar. There's nothing wrong with any of my guitars that do that when you press hard. Guitars used to have skinny little frets at one time. Actually, some guitars are still being made with them, okay? But really super cheap-ass ones, right? The epitome of the shit piles. Any guitar now that's a couple $100 or $100 even nowadays, most guitars, over 97% of all manufactured guitars now come with medium jumbo, jumbo, or super fat jumbo frets. Okay? That's how it is. And with medium jumbo frets alone, they will do that when you press too hard. For years, we've all crabbed. We want faster playing necks. We want frets that last longer. We want less chance to no chance of fretboard damage from rubbing up and down, going wing with all our lead shit, okay, and all that other stuff we do, okay? We want that. The answer to that was taller, wider, fatter frets, okay? And as part of that, your nuts are a little higher than they used to be at one time. Your saddles and bridges are now higher than they used to be at one time to compensate for that height difference on the fretboard. Okay, so that you could utilize those taller, fatter frets. Okay, now my Strat and my Tele have both been set up by moi to be sick-ass low action. Okay, I mean, it is beyond sick. It is way lower than even probably Fender would want these things to go, and I still don't get fret buzz, okay? If you try to file down that nut like people are suggesting, you're going to be buzzing like a bitch, okay? and you're not going to correct it except to try and maybe raise the saddle up higher. The only problem is there ain't much height left to adjust here, okay? And if you go to a thicker set of strings, you're now going to be, instead of flush in the nut here where it's supposed to be, you're going to be coming and protruding over the tops, which means you can get string roll, okay? So for all those so-called professionals on the internet and other places that say that your strings should be sitting on top of your nut slots, I say that they're full of crap, because your strings can roll off, okay? And it creates even more height than necessary, which causes you to press even harder just to do a normal fret, okay? Or a normal note on a fret. Because the thicker your strings, the higher up they're going to sit, the further you're away from the fret wire, okay, which is your fret, okay? Which means you're pressing harder, which means even with broken in fingers, you're going to be hurting, mama, okay? Things need to be lower, but still within limits so that you don't have to press very hard, you won't have such finger fatigue, etc., etc., okay? So there's nothing wrong with my guitars. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this guy's guitar, except that he just doesn't understand how his guitar has been built, okay? So he asked a question, and rightly so. There's maybe 5 or 6 of us that gave him the actual right answer, okay? So I didn't read all of them. There's a lot of comments here. I gave you guys a few of them, all right? The majority here, though, of people so far, and I'm sure this will go on for days, have told him everything completely wrong. Okay? Completely wrong. Alright? Now, that's pretty much my video on this. Okay? And hey, if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, I don't care. It's the truth. And I like telling the truth even if it hurts. Okay? I would rather tell people the truth than to lie. Okay? Or to misinform. Okay? I'm not perfect either. Okay? But I do know what I know, right? And yeah, there's nothing wrong with his guitar. I mean, he went as far because, you know, there's the Strats are notorious. Pretty much a lot of guitars are notorious for, if you have string trees involved. Let me show you. I know some of you know what they are, but I'm going to show you what I mean. He still has his stock string trees. I ordered some roller trees for mine. But the problem with these Strats and Tellys are these wide-ass friggin' string trees. They kink the string. They're pushing down and they kink, and they put a fold here and a fold there. And what happens is when you string bend, or if you're using your whammy bar and you slack off your strings, which happens when you use the whammy bar, especially in a nosedive, everything starts to move back and then gets sucked forward again, right? Well, what happens is sometimes that kinks, and yeah, it makes it go out of tune. So it knocks your guitar out. And Les Pauls are notorious for 2 strings falling out of tune on them. But Fenders have their issues too. Every guitar company has their issues. And some issues can be cured by just changing over to just a graphite nut even. I'm going to be putting probably either Tusk or graphite nuts onto, well, I'm going to definitely be doing my Strat. I don't know what's actually on. I think it's a Tusk nut that's actually on my Telly. It looks like one anyways. But I'm definitely going to be changing the one off my Strat, and I'm going to go with a graphite nut. I've had a graphite nut on my Chord X2 LH since I bought it brand new, and that has been great, and the guitar stays in tune awesome, for reasons of which, number one, I set it up, okay, but also that graphite nut really helps things slide. And of course, I have no string trees on the Chord X2. It's actually designed in such a way that it's not required to have string trees, you know, and string trees would actually cause it problems, not cure anything, because there's nothing to cure. All right, and the only way that thing falls out of tune is if I really overbend the strings. Then it's gonna fall out. Okay. Anyways, kids, that's it. That's all I got for you. So hey, if you been pressing and wonder why you go sharp, that's why. It's because you're pressing way too damn hard. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with the guitar. Thanks. Catch you on the next video.